Hello once again, good people. So it's the end of August, beginning of September. So what I'd kind of like to do, maybe regularly, see if it works out, is do like kind of like a catch up of stuff we got from LCSs during the month. Starting with new releases and orders here. There's also a couple of back issues and magazines that were at one LCS. This bag here is a bunch of stuff that I got from a lady on Facebook Marketplace. Comic Crack has been getting some stuff through there too. So some weird stuff there. And this last pile is from another local used book and comic store, Red River Books, Legendary store. This is all stuff that I got through trading, so didn't pay money, but picked through a lot of stuff to pick out some some picks, for lack of a better term. Okay, there's also some books and movies there at the end too. Let's go. Okay, so let's start with this, the new iteration of EC Comics through Oni. Uh, the kind of person I am, the kind of stuff that I cover, and the stuff that I read, it's kind of my civic duty to like check this out and see how it goes. There were a lot of mixed reviews on the horror title, Epitaphs from the Abyss. Personally, I found it like kind of meh. A lot of people thought it was really awful, but I'm going to stick with it in terms of that. So this is their sci-fi release, kind of like I guess a continuation of what would be like weird fantasy, weird science back from the 50s. And I actually did like this one. As far as anthologies go, I notoriously say that they're a mixed bag. To be truthful, I actually, though I get a lot of anthologies, I actually hate them a lot. They This one's good though. This one is actually good. I liked some of the twist endings I didn't see coming, and a lot of the time the thing with sci-fi or fantasy or horror anthologies, the twist endings are just like ugh annoying. Say with sci-fi, it might be like, oh, and the humans were the aliens all along, or it was planet Earth all along, or they were really small and everything else was really big, or something stupid. You know what I mean? But so a lot of the time they're not even like very interesting, the twists or overall plot. But this story was really good. I really like this one. This one, meh. It's not bad, but I mean it's kind of a standard fare. But saying that, even though it's standard fare, this second story it is maybe of a higher quality than a lot of typical sci-fi stories. What else did we have here? I think the third one, yeah, the third one again, kind of the same. Not as nothing great, but not bad, which I appreciate. Because honestly, man, a lot of horror stories or anthologies are just they're actually bad. This last one is good, actually too. So I'll be sticking with this. It's more what's the word? Encouraging that these don't suck overall. So yeah, Cruel Universe #1. It's a recommend actually. I'm sure you'll probably see it in bargain bins though, because I feel like a lot of people are getting these, and a lot of people will probably like not end up wanting them. So it's up to you, but I did think it was pretty good. As far as me though, I hate paying full price for stuff, but I will anyways with these. I'll keep going. Another new release here, the conclusion to Gun Honey's latest storyline, Collision Course. Another one's going to be coming out in a couple of months, though, too. I have yet to read this because I was kind of waiting to get all four of them. This is cover D, a nude cover. I don't even remember which ones I ordered and didn't. But the A covers, I think, are kind of the best, honestly. Here's Hello Darkness, #2. This one kind of sucked, in my opinion. You get this kind of like wannabe Junji Ito kind of story here, or that kind of vibe, where it's this kind of abstract, like kind of offbeat horror, but it's not very scary. Or but it's still like they got skills. But I feel like my cynical ass just sees it for like yeah, it's just kind of like wanting to be that vibe. The second story, not bad. Actually, I kind of like the art in this. Though I thought it was predictable, it is like pretty decent. Um, what's this one? This one I don't even remember. Oh yeah, it's kind of stupid. These are stupid. This is Garth Ennis, part two of his ongoing story, and it's all just spinning wheels, not really going anywhere. Characters that I don't care about. Uh, Pseudo intellectual hipsters, kind of. But it's Garth Ennis. I mean, like, I'll give him faith, but it's just whatever. I don't care. It must be going somewhere, but how long is it going to take to get there? So, yeah, a lot of people are enjoying Hello Darkness more than Epitaphs from the Abyss, but I'm not there. Not that I'm enjoying Epitaphs from the Abyss a whole lot, but I just, sometimes I think people are so hungry to like something that they're that they're just gonna latch out to something to like give it their positive vibes or feelings. Maybe I'm very cynical when you get down to it. Here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Black, White, and Green #4. I have yet to read all these. I know I'm kind of bad. Panelist Comics #4. I am enjoying these. Yeah, as I've said, kind of like Euro kind of vibes. Here's the Yune Sunghan NSFW cover. I just kind of like pick out whichever cover I think I like the best, honestly. No really rhyme or reason or continuity. Here's the Claudia Caranfa cover. Because I'm kind of just getting like maybe two of each, and then I'll see if maybe I want to keep end up wanting to keep them or just like sell a set or piece them out later or something. I don't know. I almost never speculate, but I'm kind of doing that for like this and Gun Honey a little bit. The old Penthouse comics are worth a little bundle each. Avatar, every month, basically, through previews or diamond distributors, whatever it's called in your area, you can order select things that they have on sale. At this time, they had like almost like their whole catalog of graphic novels on sale for $6 American for American markets. The way it works out through my comic shop is just under $7 each for these. So I just took the opportunity to kind of get all of the crossed storylines that I had never read before, and I'm just like, yeah, I can like keep the ones I like, to like trade or send to my comic shop or Lone Star or something. The ones I don't and stuff like that. So there's volume 7. The number, like the volume numbers don't matter. That's the one thing that could turn people off, but it really does not matter. These are all just separate story arcs that are in their own kind of world. There are some overarching storylines, some of the David Lapham ones, but yeah, for the most part, it doesn't matter. I see this character does recur later, though. Anyways, blah blah blah. Let's keep going. This is volume 7. Christos Gage and Christian Desanier. I do like those two guys, it seems. Volume 8 with David Hine, Simon Spurrier, and those guys have done some good work on this series too. Volume 9, this Way guy, but Spurrier and Andrade do a pretty good job. I guess Spurrier at one time threw Warren Ellis under the bus, which is kind of annoying, because some of his writing is kind of good, but I really don't like that about him. Anyways, drama. I would really love to see Warren Ellis come back. I wonder if he's like writing psyops nowadays. Some storylines in news almost seem like they're written by Warren Ellis. Anyways, controversy. Volume 10, anyways. This is a really good one. Garth Ennis and Christian Zania. This one's like one of the better, definitely. I had only like maybe 50% of this run in single issues, and I really wanted to read this, so looking forward to this one. This one is like Garth Ennis, he's not really trying to be shocking or comedic in this one. He's just like writing a good fucking story, and then the shock and the little bits of comedic elements kind of just come out of that naturally. So that's what I like. Here's Christos Gage and Fernando Hines. This character again is recurring, isn't he? Volume 17. Yeah, so like I think it's about $6.60 each that you pay for these brand new. Just the way it works out with the comic shop I deal with. And there's like about $4 each for these like smaller ones. Frankenstein's Womb. This is a convention variant cover because I have a different one, but I just like this story. Talked about it before. Some good stuff. Some Alan Moore Avatar, Hypothetical Lizard. Apparently, this adapted from some novel or novella. Sounds kind of weird. I might have to talk about this more later because there's some stuff here that makes me like a lot of people think Moore is like a high level wizard or in the know with some like behind the scenes kind of shadow government and stuff or something. Let's get into all that like crazy conspiracy occult stuff here because we've got some people and some background in studying all that kind of stuff. We might get into that kind of thing later. Okay, now getting to the back issues. I had actually enjoyed this series, the issue that I got. So I saw these, and he only charged me like $2 each for these. Yeah. What's her name? Irene Adler, kind of adversary and love interest of Sherlock Holmes, kind of like Catwoman to Batman is Irene Adler to Sherlock Holmes. Like not quite a hero, not quite a villain, and not I think Moriarty tries to utilize her services, wits, and skills, though he is not really a friend to her. He might be also against her at times. So there's issue number 3. I thought I'd just show a little bit here. It's kind of like that Victorian steampunky stuff, which, though played out and overexposed at times, is like can be done well. In this case, it's done pretty well, it seems. Adler number 4. Another Richard Corbin comic here. I wasn't sure if I had this because I didn't have it on my wish list at the time. This is actually a second copy, it turns out, but only $2 I think I was charged. Which is weird. There's like a range of prices that people will charge you for Corbin stuff these days. I've been to a couple. I've seen like Facebook Marketplace and a couple of comic stores like really charging pretty high for Corbin stuff at times lately. So I think when you can get it cheap, if you're a fan, especially, you should. I think you really should. H.P. Lovecraft's Haunt of Horror, 2 of 3. I don't know if the numbering really matters much on these because these are all short story anthologies. This has music of Eric Zahn. Incredible Hulk number 368, again like $2. A Sam Keith issue of Incredible Hulk. When I found out this existed, I was like, I gotta find that, and luckily did find it. But flipping through it, it doesn't look too. It doesn't look like it's really like a show-stopping stuff. It looks good, but it doesn't look like it's stuff that's like really mind-blowing or anything. But who knows? Sometimes when you flip through it, it's not the same experience as when you like get into the story and really feel the impact of each panel and the pacing and stuff. But yeah, there's that Sam Keith Hulk. This was a cool find. This was $3, even though it's like kind of beat up, because these are actually worth a bunch. Human Torch number 2. These are 70s printings that reprint stuff from the. I think this print stuff from like 1961 or 1962, as well as a backup story from the 40s. This might be one of the only places to get these. On newsprint and whatnot, but I do enjoy these a lot. These can actually go a lot higher, so I was happy to find this there. Purgatory Preview, or Purgatory number 0. Some Jim Ballant, kind of like lusty chaos comics horror stuff. I do kind of like this art. I don't know about the writing. I'll have to revisit it. I remember I did get this once before, but was like whatever about the writing. But Jim Ballant is drawing some hot babes, of course. A news newsstand copy of Wolverine number 41, featuring Cable and Sabretooth. Again, only $2, and it's pretty in pretty good shape. This has a lot of I think it's number 42, the one where it kind of like the whole story kind of climaxes with them, though. It's 42 or 43, one of those. Which I haven't actually found lately, but Mark Silvestri and Dan Green, Wolverine. Maybe, yeah, probably my favorite team on Wolverine. It also has a center fold out or pull out Mike Mignola pull out. Astonishing X-Men number 21. 21. I'm just getting these, man. I don't know how many issues Joss Whedon and John Cassaday did, but I'm kind of trying to hunt them all. So, decent price for that too, of course. The, the that store can be a bit disorganized and stuff because it's a one-man operation and it's pretty busy. Every time I go in there, even though it was like the middle of the day on a Thursday, like around 1 p.m. I think when I was in there, and there was just like a huge rush. So I know some people. I've heard some people who I do like get along with like complain about the disorganization there, and I do agree that it is disorganized. But try to roll with it maybe. What I do is I just kind of like suss out which boxes are new there that have like just came in, and even if they've got something piled on top or they're like in the way of your feet or something, just look through those ones. Keep yourself abreast of what's new. So yeah, a lot of the stuff isn't like priced there, but I just get a pile of it together and ask him like what he wants for each thing or all together. Eclipse magazine number 3. Just looking through the magazine box. Yeah, same with that other stuff kind of. That's how I found that Human Torch, and I think I found a copy of Melting Pot that way too. Eclipse series. Is this one of the? Oh, there's Charles Vest in here. I didn't even know that before. I think this has like early Coyote that might not have been printed the same way or the same story later. Some Mystery. Also some Steve Gerber and Val Mayrick doing what looks to be a weird kind of cult horror story. Almost looks like a creepy or Bruce Jones style stuff, like Tales of Terror, Twisted Tales kind of look. I do like Val Mayrick. Steve Gerber, I guess, was the creator and writer of Howard the Duck and Destroyer Duck. I'm not sure, though. I think that might be the case. And Mystery. I've been enjoying Mystery. Max Collins, it seems like he's pretty shit hot with writing good, pulpy crime and mystery. So I'm kind of grabbing that when I see it cheap. Eddie Campbell in Little Italy. Yeah, we've talked about Eddie Campbell before on the channel. Bacchus, I'm a big fan of. I've never heard of this, but just glancing at it, it says something like, well, here it is, it says exactly. The cartoons in this book were drawn by the old fella during 3 stops in tropical North Australia, once for 3 months, once for a whole year, and once just for Christmas. He alluded to this book in his other book, The Dead Mouse, calling it his famous lost book, because he invented the idea of selling all of the artworks before it had even been published. The current volume is put together thereafter, courtesy of a bunch of photocopies he had the good sense to salt away. So I kind of like these when indie, well, I don't know, just when any kind of cartoonist that I like kind of does like travelogue cartoons. There's one by Bill Griffith called Get Me a Table Without Flies, Harry or Henry or something like that. That one's awesome. This looks to be, yeah, Eddie Campbell kind of traveling and just cartooning, drawing stuff that occurs to him, drawing some real life stuff here. Here it says, I'm watching Teresa Kalishoff open a coconut for me. I am being watched by termite mounds. I rescue a froggy from the pool filter. I'm eating a steak. Stuff like that. But yeah, some more, maybe a longer form or full page or few page cartoons as well. It's that 9-panel grid. I guess this was from Comic Factory at one point, the old LCS. Okay, Joe Kubert's Tor. There is like an older DC series in the comic size. This is magazine size though, and I think it's superior. Oh look, somebody did a sketch on the back of the backing board of that Backless magazine there. Maybe somebody famous. Anyhow, okay, so Joe Kubert's Tor, this magazine size is more for like mature readers. My first exposure to Joe Kubert that I remember was in Sin City, the pinup section, where he had a picture of Agamemnon, like, kind of lurking over a naked chick, right? And when I saw that as a kid, I was like, wow, that I love the way that looks. Oh yeah, and also, I think he did a piece in like Visions of Mobius or Visions of Arzak, artists doing Arzak renditions. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but anyway, these Kubert Tor in magazine form are a lot like heavier and dark and more like visceral, more how would I say it? It gives you more of like that savage kind of prehistoric feeling or something than the comic size ones. These came out in the early 90s actually, and yeah, these are wicked. These are really wicked. This is like what I want actually in Tor, or almost kind of like a barbarian thing where it's kind of like just what would I said visceral already, but what would be like a good? It's kind of immersive. It puts you in like a vibe of what would I call it, man? It's like high energy, savage, kind of simplistic. Not simplistic, but you know, we just get primitive, get real primitive. And yeah, I think Joe Kubert's art, like he's known for his war stuff, but I love when he's doing this kind of stuff. I think I pulled out the other. Apparently, okay, this says issue number 4, and it's the final, so I guess it's just a 4-issue series. I wish I still had number 1. I had got it like with, you know, skipping lunch all week before when I was a teenager. Save it up to get it, but in a purge. Oh yeah, there's some boobies. Careful. So this isn't reprints of safe for work stuff. A little more adultish. Look at this, dude. This reminds me of a couple people that were lurking around the bus stop earlier in the week. Big city. Okay, moving on to the next. Okay, yeah, I live in the same city as your homie Comic Crack. If you're not following Comic Crack, go follow him. He's an awesome comic channel that also covers a lot of like alternative and underground stuff. He's a wealth of knowledge and taste, that guy. So yeah, but I was surprised to find out that guy lives in the same town. We've been drinking from the same well, but luckily not stepping on each other's toes, it seems. Um, there's a Okay, it was a grandfather that left this comic collection to the grandson, and the grandson's mother is facilitating the sale of much of it, which I kind of sneer at a little bit. I'm like, you mothers, you mother effers, you should be keeping this and respecting it and appreciating it, but that's just how it goes. I mean, one man's gold is another man's trash, and vice versa. Um, it's not like you could just inherit anybody's, like, whose collection could you inherit and enjoy it? There's probably only like one or two people you know in life, and they're probably not even in your family, right? So that's probably the case for many people, so I won't hold it against them too much. They're scum. No, take them for everything. They're good. Take for all they're worth. Not really. They're not like underpricing stuff. It's about the limit of like what I will pay. Not full retail, but like, you know, 75% ish of full retail. A lot of this stuff. Anyway, blah blah. Is it gauche to talk about price a lot? But yeah, some underground stuff. 1977, Rand Holmes. Great, great. I'm looking forward to this. Printed in Canada. Fog City Comics #1. This is a set, and here's #2. You see that Wally Wood influence doing, I guess, his sci-fi issue. This guy just like disemboweled or eviscerated, what would the word be, floating outside of the spaceship. Meanwhile, this lady is being made love to by an alien. You see the reflection of the alien there, too, in the glass. That's well done. Have to cover it with a post-it because these mature readers stuff. Foxy Comics #3. These are in great shape too, even though they're from the 70s. More that wood influence. This looks like it's taken from like an EC, kind of like a bomber plan view inspiration, but the scale changed. Oh, okay. I kind of post-it noted some pages here just to check out a little bit. Really skilled stuff inside. We gotta stop and smell the roses here. Look inside sometimes. I guess this is a fantasy sci-fi themed issue. It seems like they kind of have different themes that they got like different underground guys and gals to contribute to each issue, following a theme kind of. Here's kind of like a childlike art. Not that the artist is childlike, but I mean the child reminds me of child-friendly stuff, like just a bunch of gnomes and Cutaway. That rabbit, you could totally tell that it's got like a white rabbit with a red eye. Yeah, looking forward to that, and looking forward to this too. She's got a lot of good stuff, but yeah, I wish it was cheaper. I wish it was half as much as if a lot of that stuff was half as much as she's asking for, I would get a lot of it. But this stuff I guess is in less demand, so it's for me. Nobody else is looking for this. We talked about this series before. Bruce Jones, Hands of Fate. Who did the art again? We'll talk about that in a second because I'm sure I have one of these like to look at on the interior. Kind of like paranormal detective crime stories. These are fun. Also kind of weird, of course. And the thing I like about this, the horror and the horror elements are actually kind of creepy when you're reading them. They're creepy and suspenseful, even though it can be also like lighthearted and fun. It's a weird thing to do. It's not that the tone is inconsistent. It's just like, you know how say Evil Dead 2 can be like comedic, even though it's like scary at other times. He does kind of a cool thing there. Bruce Jones is a great writer. I'm always surprised like how much Bruce Jones I get. Not that everything he does is good, but I mean like, as much as people talk about Bradbury and Harlan Ellison or Stephen King and stuff being prolific, I think Bruce Jones should get some shine too. He does a lot of really cool stuff. Yeah. You can see how this is like creepy. Good storytelling too. Okay, so Hand of Fate numbers 1 to 3, that was. Lady Rawhide. She just had a big set of Lady Rawhide. I forget if it was like 25 or 20 that I paid for all these, but a big stack of Lady Rawhide, because I actually have been looking for these for years, and I haven't really found them in cheap bins or even in normal bins, like, kind of ever. I thought I'd be finding them all the time since I've been looking for them, but so I caved and just bought like this full set at this pretty good price. Volume 1, number 1 of 5, number 2. Kind of like, did you guys ever watch those Zorro movies from like, I want to say the 80s? Maybe they were like made in Spain or Mexico. They're actually like good. Number 3, kind of that kind of vibe, but she's also like a pretty hot chick. There's like, it's not gratuitous, but you get like stuff like this once in a while. But she's a good hero or heroine also. Number 4 of 5. Number 5. Volume 2, number 1. Don McGregor also. What did he write? Saber and some other stuff. Esteban Maroto. I think he was in Creepy and Eerie Meg a lot in like say 60s or 70s, I want to say. He's done a lot of good work. Julie Bell, cover art. Number 2. Number 3. This is a double. Number 4. Number 5. Don McGregor does a bunch of other stuff too. I just kind of like forget offhand though. That's number 5. Okay, so $2 or two to 50 each for those. I'm with it. I mean, they're minty, and I don't have to like run around for years and years in order to piece them together because that wasn't actually happening. Okay, Metal Hurlant. You probably know that heavy metal originally started overseas in mainly France, I want to say, under the title of Metal Hurlant, which is, the French version of heavy metal, I think. Or La Garage Hermétique would be the hermetic garage or the airtight garage and stuff like that. So DC Comics printed for Humanoids, I think it was being printed here in North America, a new like kind of reboot, I guess, of Metal Hurlant in, was this the early 2000s? And it's good, man. I mean, here you get some Jodorowsky and Beltran. That's mainly what I'm going to show here. Fred Beltran is a monster. These pinups, absolute babes. And skill, too. Is it computer coloring that he mostly used? I think he also does some in real life coloring at times. Maybe airbrush? Oh yeah, Das Pastores. I really like this guy too. I don't get to see too much of them, but yeah, here's another good, like, kind of primitive barbarian story that actually kind of like satiates the hunger I have for those kind of stories once in a while. Kind of like maybe like Ralph Bakshi and Frazetta's Fire and Ice kind of vibes, this one. He also had Humanoids or Heavy Metal put out a trade paperback or hardcover by this guy called Deicide, which of course is, I guess, Latin or like a term for killing a god or killing a divine being, right? Good stuff, this guy. Yeah, I like this guy. I'd like to find more. Mental note. Look this up, maybe. And then you get part 1 of Mobius, sorry. I just got an alert on my phone. It distracted me for a second. Jodorowsky and Fred Beltran's Megalex, which is fantastic. This is actually one of, like, I mean, there's, Technopriest, Metabarons and stuff, but I don't know if this one goes under the radar, but this is one of my favorites out of those things, too. This is nuts. This dystopian trope, I love it. It's the same way that, like, normal people in Clockwork Orange have dyed hair in the future. That these two guys that are going to execute all these clones, they're, like, kind of listening to, like, punk rock or synth, and they're, like, smoking drugs and stuff while they're doing it. You know, things that are usually reserved for rebels are in dystopia are just part of the status quo of evil, I guess. Not that these guys are evil, but you know what I mean. These guys are just kind of side characters or throwaway characters, just staff. Almost like fast food workers, just destroying all these clones. Yeah. Jodorowsky, pretty far out. Megalex. That was Metal Hurlant number 1, and here's number 2. Yeah, only $1 each for these. Extra copies as well. I'd really love to get a full set of these, but you like never see them ever. Oh, I have a postmarked here again. Bookmarked. Oh yeah, the Midway. Fred Beltran pinup. It's worth a look. Apparently he bases all the females off of his wife. Must be a lucky guy. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, these are nice. I like these. Metal Hurlant. I don't know why I didn't catch on because I mean, as far as anthologies go, these were like solid through and through, maybe even more solid than a lot of heavy metal, you know. Okay, so this set of number one to I think it was number one to 18 of shock suspense stories. Um, I kind of like all these EC things rather in a single issue form rather than hardcovers and whatnot. Just because the nature of these is like kind of just to read like one at a time or a few stories here and there. I never really could picture myself like sitting there with a hardcover, reading through a lot of them at a time. Again, because I hate anthologies, kind of, even though I kind of love them too. But yeah, yeah, or else like say with a hardcover, what am I gonna do? Like bookmark, have bookmarks in those in them and shit like that. But I guess that's the thing to do if you like them that way. But I kind of like them this way. This was a good price. I used to always see these in like dollar bins and stuff. But you just do not anymore. You don't. People are always asking for like $5 or more a piece for these, it seems. Or this was a good price because it was like under $3. That seems to be about as good as it gets with these. Maybe the Gladstone ones you're gonna be paying cheaper, but the print quality on those is far worse. It's kind of nice having them on newsprint, but it's a bit blurry. Those Gladstone ones, they're not without their charm though. Anyway, shock suspense stories number one, number two, number three. There's also Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror, but she's kind of asking for like $5 each for those. And I don't know. I kind of think like these are just as fun, or like not as. I have a lot of those Tales and Vault already. Number five. Or these are like maybe more underrated, so it can kind of like get them at less of a price. Number six. But I mean, Jack Davis, oh, on Tales from the Crypt. Really love Jack Davis. I'm thinking about it, man. I don't know. Shock Suspense Stories number seven. Number eight. Number nine. Number 10. Number 11. This is really nice art and it's a lot. Number 12. Maybe I like how these being crime, they're a little bit more serious. The horror ones kind of get to be more comedic at times too, which, you know, it can work or it can be to the detriment at times. Shock Suspense Stories number 13. Number 14. Is this Jack Davis? No, it's Wally Wood. Wow. Number 15. I think I have this one already. Number 16. George Evans, I think. Number 17. Number 18. Oh yeah, lastly, a pack of Screamer at almost $1, or almost as low as $1 each. I think she was asking for 8, and I offered 6, or something like that for these. Um, Again, it's like, you know, it pays to be the only one interested in this stuff. Maybe the other people will be interested in it later. Talked about this before. Kind of a precursor to Vertigo type stuff. Apparently, it's like post-apocalyptic gang noir sci-fi crime shit, like mature readers. Um, Before Vertigo existed, and early Steve Dillon, Peter Milligan also, who can be good, have some good chops when it comes to writing. Just the full set: number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. And yeah, I heard about this through that channel I've mentioned a couple of times, Comics Rot Your Brain. They did some good coverage, good full episode on this. Okay, moving on. Next one. Okay, hit up the iconic Red River bookstore to trade in stuff that I didn't, that I wasn't too keen on after having read it. It seems like Ideally, I'd like to get there like once a month, but I kind of get there maybe once every 2 months or so. And I just kind of go there whenever I have about a long box, like a short box of stuff that I want to trade away. That also I wouldn't vouch for. Basically, it's stuff that I think you guys watching, you're too good for it. It's not very good. The stuff that I trade away, don't worry. But it's not trash too, because I like to keep a good relationship with them there, just that they can like trust me not to try and pawn off garbage on them and stuff like that. It's usually just stuff that like I'm not like the crowd for or whatever. Like say like Shadowhawk, or I traded away all those volumes of the Strain and stuff like that. Um, Not trash, but just like not for me, not for us. We're too good for it. Robert Anton Wilson, Cosmic Trigger. This is like a culmination, or maybe his most famous work. I've read almost all of his stuff, really, but still not this one. They also had as well as like a lot of Schrodinger's Cat and the Illuminatus trilogy. Um, what's the one that has like Widow's Son, Earth Will Shake? I think it's Masks of the Illuminati or something. That series might be like one of the best, else even though it's one of the most underrated. But I don't know what to think of this guy these days because I kind of grew up reading this when I was about like early 20s, and now a lot of the time I think like maybe there's just another level of deception in psyops. Like it's still the graduated Animal Farm. You move from one pen to the next. You're not quite free or revealed the truth in this Babylon mystery school, man. And I mean, he was a writer for Playboy magazine a lot of the time, which is definitely funded by like some CIA or some shit when you get back to it. Probably, I mean, highly, highly likely. Anyway, um, Robert Anton Wilson. Yeah, another person asked me, where did I find more? And I wanted that other stuff, but just for extra copies, because I think those other ones are like the best. Actually, the one with I think it's Sigismundo Celine, that takes place like hundreds of years earlier. That series is probably the best one, in my opinion, as well as nonfiction stuff. Anyway, blah blah blah. Moving on. I know you want to see comics, but a couple books here and there, a couple movies too. Five easy pieces. Ever since listening to Voluptuous Horror of Karen Black, Voluptuous Horror of Karen Black, Alaska, I like always wanted to see this movie, and it also has like some famous scenes, but always wanted to see this one. The final season of Miami Vice, and it says this one is brought to you by Michael Mann. Michael Mann is the man. Wait, To Live and Die in LA, that's actually Friedkin, right? But what else? Oh yeah, Manhunter, Thief, James Caan, Heat, of course, and the Miami Vice movie from like 2006 or something is actually sick as hell, dude. Even though I didn't like Colin Farrell, maybe he's cool. Cause in that movie, holy shit, that movie rules, dude. That movie is sick as hell. If you haven't seen it, see it. And just kind of like, don't worry, we'll move on quickly. But in this day of dour and drab vibes and like seriousness and stuff, don't you want? Let's get some neon skies, man. Some vaporwave skies, some chill breeze, some dapper suits and looking stylish, dancing around, having fun in like neon lit blacklight clubs and shit, jumping in and out of boats, in and out of supercars and sports cars. That's what your life should be like. Don't worry about all this other stuff. So, and crime, uh, vicious drug deals, hot women. That's where your life is. That's what life is, isn't it? Anyways, I don't know what I'm saying, but Miami Vice, if you want to see more. Some King Arthur stuff. I really like King Arthur and Merlin or Merlin stuff. This is written apparently by like an expert or a scholar on the matters. And the John William Waterhouse painting on the cover doesn't hurt at all. I really love this painting. Um, yeah, a lot of nice art in here. And apparently this is a guy who's like, I mean, you've got Mort d'Arthur, which is also very close to the Excalibur movie by, was it Borman? That one of the best sword and sorcery or fantasy movies ever, that, if you've never seen it. But, yeah, just all that kind of stuff. Again, gotta read actual books sometimes when they're interesting, right? It's kind of good to have these kind of vibes too. Cultivate this kind of stuff. Having things be mythical and sacred and powerful. It's kind of a fun way to look at life at times, and also very like scenic and beautiful. Honor and virtue and tragedy and human drama. It's just legendary. So yeah, should be fun. Hardcover of Cross 3D. Talked about this before. A great jumping on point for the Cross series, I think. If you're looking for one to read, if you're interested, there's a really good one. David Lapham. And yeah, there's going to be weird, crazy things flying at you when your 3D glasses are on this. The 3D is actually very well done on this, and the writing and art is just really good, really good. Thought I'd finally check out Immortal Hulk. Yeah, it's sad that this writer threw his artist under the bus for some. It seems like some confusion. As far as I understand, the artist did some political cartoons back in the day, and he made the people who he politically disagreed with have big noses or look like rats or something, and then that was interpreted as anti-Semitic, even though he didn't mean it that way, which is funny because it's just his critics jumping to the conclusion that, the irony is that it's the critics kind of projecting that element onto it. But I guess that doesn't matter, right? History is written by the victors, and I guess this artist is just fucking done now. He's just totally canceled now. But I didn't want to read this like for those kind of reasons. But separate art from artists and blah 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 blah. I kind of want to check out some Hulk. And in the heyday, in the classic time when these guys were in synergy, maybe it's good. Actually, truth be known, this comic actually had traded in around 2018 or 19 some stuff, and they actually had issue 1 on the shelf still hidden behind some things at the time, and I found it. And even though it was worth probably like $50 or more at that time, they allowed me to take it for not even any money because I had traded in some stuff there for just the cover price. And yeah, when I got it home, of course, when I was putting it away, I accidentally ripped the cover. Like a spine rip. That's my punishment, I guess, for avarice, or what would it be called? Greed. It doesn't pay for me to try and be bad at any time. I'll always get instantly punished like that. But yeah, Scream trade paperback with Peter David and Bart Sears. Showed this one before. I just want to check it out. I have no idea what it is. I found issue 1 kind of randomly before. I like Bart Sears' art too. I know a lot of people kind of poo-poo on him, but I think he can do some cool things. Who knows what this is, but oh yeah, the way he draws hands at all times. Good stuff. I'm gonna see what that is. Neat stuff. Number 1, Peter Bagg. Sorry. And yeah, have these in trade paperback collections and stuff, but enjoying getting them in the original magazines. So yeah. A copy of Penthouse Comics number 2 that I didn't have, like a different cover. I never really am into like variant covers, but like this and Gunnery, I'm kind of like getting different variant covers if I like them. So yeah, just trade. Animal mystic flowing through the air. Sorry, that's what this title of this makes me think of that song. But Animal Mystic, I remember seeing ads of this guy's art back in the day, Dark One, and thinking it looked kind of cool, just kind of wondering what it was like and stuff. So This looks to be a fantasy series, kind of weird, like indie underground fantasy, sword and sorcery stuff. Female protagonist, which is always easier on the eyes. Looks like the dude's got skills. Looks like some anatomy uh, knowledge as well, not just faking it. What would the medium be that he uses? Maybe acrylic? This gun looks pretty cool too. Kind of got like vials of stuff in there, some kind of liquid. May as well show a little bit because you might not see this stuff every day, right? Okay. Yeah, just trading some stuff. Michael Moorcock's Chronicle of Corum. I had heard on. Sorry, I forget the name of the YouTube channel because it's not like YouTube has been feeding me like just kind of videos. It's the algorithm's getting a bit smart, where it's like showing me stuff that I'm interested in, but it is channels that I'm like not to poop on them. I'm just like not subscribed to them or familiar with them and otherwise. But one channel was doing a feature on this story. Michael Moorcock, Mike Barron on the writing, and Mike Mignola on art a little bit earlier. Fantasy story. Not Elric, but a lesser known character called Corum. And apparently this is a um, like an inspiring factor for Berserk by Kentaro Miura as well. I don't know if that's just speculation or if that's factual, but there's supposed to be some elements similar at least. Said to be an inspiration for Kentaro Miura's Berserk, so yeah, I'll check it out. And it being Mike Barron and Mike Mignola definitely helps. If they had more issues, I would have got them, but they only had this issue number 1 there. Alright. Eddie Campbell, Deadface, doing the islands with Bacchus. So I always thought like, what is this, like a crossover or something? But actually, this is collections of Bacchus short stories from places like Dark Horse Presents or Cerebus Bi-Weekly or just kind of random places. So that suits me very well because I really, really like reading Bacchus. Talked earlier about like mythology and studying like mythology or theology, I guess it would be called even too, but mythology in terms of the sacralization or making life more sacred and profound, almost like going schizo mode, right? When you start to believe in things or something. But I'm not putting that quite well. The thing about Bacchus is that he just knows a lot about like world mythology, especially Greek and Roman, I guess, and a lot of pagan Europe as well. And putting it just letting us know a lot about a lot that we didn't know before, but putting it in terms of modernity too. Is something that Bacchus is, or Eddie Campbell is really good at without being heavy-handed or preachy in any way, just making life seem more mysterious and powerful rather than any kind of like digital black or white A or B, do this or that, right or wrong. It's just more I don't know, it just makes things kind of magical. These Eddie Campbell Bacchus stories, the knowledge and stuff that you get from them, and the storytelling. So having this all like together in one spot is easier than flipping through old just random issues for those Bacchus short stories or backup stories, right? So looking forward to this. This is high on the to read pile. Jason, I saw that you got some Bacchus in one of your hauls too, and I'm stoked for you, man. I hope you enjoy it. Here's Deadface number 3. There's more there. I'm gonna get more there. Okay, Death Race 2000, or sorry, Death Race 2020. Big fan of Death Race when I was a kid. Roger Corman. What's his freaking name? I was gonna say like more Frankenstein stuff, but so you know, I usually do not trust or enjoy any kind of like sequels or adaptations and stuff of beloved properties, right? And you shouldn't. A lot of the time they're just a cash grab or somebody trying to make their name with lack of talent by hitching their star onto the wagon or whatever it's called. But this is well done. Pat Mills and Kevin O'Neill, a sequel to Death Race 2000, and I remember getting this like hunting these all down as a kid. So this is a second copy, but this is actually good. This is some good stuff, man. Takes place later on in the future when Frankenstein is president of the world, and they have to bring, even though he wanted to declare peace and abolish the death race, I think at the end of the movie. I don't know. I don't know if I remember that far. They have to bring it back, and he has to participate in it, I think, too. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Yeah, I was like, oh, this has probably been in their bins for 20 years or something. For trade if I'm not paying cash, and like I do recommend and enjoy this. Have it in the for sale or for friends box too. It belongs there. Some good shit. More DC anthology horror anthologies. Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion #7. Talked about this before. Clue to cover, and yeah, sometimes they even like reprint earlier stuff, like even old Kirby horror, but a lot of the time it's new stuff. Well, new at the time. Yeah, just always checking those out. More Global Frequency. Extra copy of Global Frequency #1, #2, #4, #5. Yeah, just because I recommend these, I'd like to have these for sale or for friends. #6. #7. I said it before, it's kind of like maybe CSI or Law and Order meets X-Files kind of thing. Fun. Each issue stands alone as well. Different art team on each. Warren Ellis, Simon Bisley on this one. Is this the biofeedback issue? Where it's kind of like these government warriors just are so trained in like controlling their pain thresholds and like every little part of their body that they can do crazy things. #8. #9. Oh, some early Lee Bermejo here. #10. #11. Oh yeah, Jason Pearson. #12. The final issue. Gene Ha. Here's a pretty cool one. I was like, who did this cover? It almost looks like I can't remember what my first guess was. My second guess was Tim Vigil, though. And I was like, yeah, can I see inside? And it's Tim Vigil. Gothic Knights #2. Mature readers. Let's look through here a little bit, though. Because, he seems to just get better with time. More skilled as years go on. His Instagram nowadays is actually, like, pretty phenomenal. Because I must say, like, earlier on seeing Faust, I wasn't actually very impressed by it. And I don't mean that to be a shit, I just mean, like, it wasn't at the level of, like, awesomeness that he's been getting toward. But especially now, if you have Instagram, I mean, I'm not very on there very much, but his is one worth following. It's this monstrous man. It almost looks like some kind of Frankenstein werewolf stuff. Oh yeah, werewolves. I guess this is part 2 of 2. Good luck finding part 1 of 1 to me. That's not gonna happen. Oh yeah, it's water damage too, because apparently it would be worth like way more if not. But luckily it's not wavy. It's not really noticeable. Only like right here, pretty much. Crazy stuff. I would say though, like I wish that I'm being a pompous little shit here, but if you were to spot black more and create more like areas of contrast, it would create more like more separation of the elements, more designy. It would be more striking, I think. Could like do more, or using areas of high contrast or high detail mixed with low detail to create contrast. That's kind of what's happening, like say in areas like this, right? That's kind of where your eye goes. It's low detail and like high detail next to it. It's using stuff like that. But as I said, this is 1996, so this is like almost 20 years ago. He's just, wait, almost 30 years ago. Yeah, so he's insane now. This is also pretty insane. I'm nitpicking, of course, to suggest improvements and stuff. Just make it more interesting content to listen to. Okay. Yeah, as I said, just kind of collecting nice variant covers of Gun Honey. This is Blood for Blood #2. I think there's a second print where they do these kind of like weirder, more in like kind of neon-y colors. Hotspur #1. I saw this was Ostrander, Tonghal, and Truman. I saw those. I don't know who Waller is, but Ostrander and Truman did that awesome Hawkworld miniseries that I just want more of. So this seems to have like maybe similar vibes. So hopefully it's fun. We'll see. Lone Wolf and Cub #3. The If You Meet the Buddha, Kill the Buddha issue. A second copy of this, but just because I realized I was close to having second copies of like the first 10 issues already in the for sale or for friends bin, so yeah, get that closer. And oh yeah, let's look at this last. Wait, actually, sorry, unprofessional. Yeah, what else we got here? Yeah, let's just bring this up last. It's a nice note to end on. Uncanny X-Force Volume 2, #2. You got Puck, Storm, Psylocke, Phantom X split up into his different parts, and Spiral. And even though this is a different creative team, I've actually been enjoying it, thankfully, because I want more Uncanny X-Force, that vibe. So I've read like the first 5 now, thanks to this trade, #2. And I only got that first 5, but I think I'm going to go back and get more. #3. #4. Oh yeah, you know what? I wanted to show you. Where did it have it? I know, this isn't probably interesting to everybody, but okay, in the last volume, you saw that the Reavers, enemies of the X-Men, were fans of Fear, old punk band Fear. They were reciting lyrics to I Love Living in the City. Okay, here's Psylocke tearing shit up. So, that's some funny shit. Oh yeah, Puck tears shit up in this one too. He's a pretty fun, likable character in this. Phantom X. So yeah, the Reavers listen to Fear, and Psylocke listens to Sleigh Bells. Heard you say suicide in your sleep, just get on with it. You were born to lose. Psylocke listens to Sleigh Bells, guys. Some kind of like indie, electronic, almost industrial punk kind of pop crossover stuff there. Fun band, I like that. I've got like a poster of one of theirs on my wall. So me and Psylocke should clearly be dating. So anyways, yeah, we got up to X-Force, Uncanny X-Force #4 and #5. Lastly, a 10-cent Nasty comic. I really like Ernie Bushmiller, and Nancy. What's the year on this? It has this like tear and a little bit of a stain here, but it's not wavy at all. It's really flat. And though the pages are maybe a little bit like off-white, of course, I mean, 1959. How many years ago is that? 65? This comic is 65 years old. I don't have too many 10-cent issues, and I kind of like having it like that. It's a little bit beat up, so I can feel not bad about reading it. Yeah, this is gonna be nice. This is just gonna be very pleasant Nancy by Ernie Bushmiller is just very. It's just delightful. If it's your kind of thing. I tried to show Nancy to one of my best friends, and he's just like, she just seems like a little bitch. Always talking shit. Or something like that. I don't know. He didn't say it quite so mean. I'm exaggerating, but maybe it's not everybody's thing. But yeah. Okay. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed and enjoy yourself finding some cool stuff out there. Talk to you soon. All right, take care, brothers and sisters.